Welcome to Points Taken, a podcast about the sports and sports betting industries and the people who make both interesting. I'm Brant James. Our guest today is Mike Tyson, a former heavyweight boxing champion, convicted felon, reborn pop culture icon, and Broadway performer with his Undisputed Truth one-man show that chronicles his complicated and compelling life so far. We spoke with Tyson in March of 2020. Not long after namesake Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder for the WBC heavyweight boxing title, cheered on by Iron Mike. It must be pretty cool to have someone who's obviously associated with you and grew up watching you doing so well right now.
Yeah, it's really awesome watching him have a good time, man. I'm very humbled that he's doing so well and he took my name and stuff. Very humbled.
MMA has obviously come on strong in the last several years, and boxing's had to keep trying to carve out where it fits. It must be really nice to see the heavyweight division kind of be the buzz topic again for a while.
Yeah, but it's always big. MMA is going to always have more views and stuff than boxing, but boxing is going to always make more money than MMA fighters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's tricky, right? That doesn't make any sense.
What if MMA was a thing back when you were in your prime? Is that something you would have wanted to take a shot at?
I don't know, because they don't make enough money.
Yeah.
In my perspective, it's exciting and sexy, but they don't make enough money.
Yeah, it would take a little bit more money to have someone try to kick you in the head, I suppose.
Exactly. It's going to happen. They're going to get wealthy. You see what Conor McGregor's doing, so it's going to work out one day. What?
Yeah. Now, if it was you in your prime and Tyson Fury in his prime, toe to toe in the ring, what happens?
I don't know. It's just different times, different eras. Tyson is the man in his day. I was the man in my day, and there's no way we can compare that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me, I'm interested in your show. How do you compare the guts it takes to go out and stand toe to toe with a guy in the ring, compared to the nerve and the guts it takes to walk out on stage and tell a room full of strangers your entire life?
It's pretty much the same thing, just that you're on stage. If you fail, it's the same kind of pain and stuff. So you put it in perspective.
So it's no different. I mean, you're just out there just pouring it out.
You're out there in the objective that you're going to succeed. And if you don't in any capacity in both fields, it's the same punch in the throat. Mm-hmm. It's the same pain. One is physical, one is spiritual.
So what hurts more, if like getting hit, or you're pouring out your heart and the lady in the front row doesn't connect?
It's the same. Maybe pouring out your heart is a little painful.
All right. So obviously the first version of Undisputed Truth was very successful. And here you are with a second version of it. What's going to be in this one? Where does it pick up? What can we expect?
Well, it's gonna be a lot different. It's not gonna be as long. It's not gonna be as pretty much. It's not gonna be the gutsy riveting stuff like that. It's gonna just be a lot of interesting time. It's gonna be a lot lighter than it was in the first show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What time period would you say it picks up at? Is it historical in a straight line, or do you skip around with stories?
Same stuff. It's historical, straight line. We have added a couple of stories from the past.
When you're out there, and I mean, obviously it's your life, so you remember it as you remember it, but when you're telling the stories, do you find that, like, on a Wednesday night, maybe you remember the story a little different, or you're out there and you're like, I just remembered something I haven't told the people before?
It basically depends on the audience, how I respond. Mm-hmm. How I react.
Yeah, yeah. How do you, how hard is it to read a room? I mean, to know if you think they're into it, or?
Absolutely. It happens as soon as you get on stage.
Yeah, yeah. Is that how long did it take to develop that?
Hey, I don't know. It just has to do with the sport. Sports is the same way. It's all about street life. It's the same way. It's all about sizing someone up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It must be therapeutic to get out there and just sort of tell everything. I mean, obviously you're sharing a whole bunch.
I don't look at it like that. I look at it just from being an entertainer's perspective.
Really? Okay. All right. So what would you say, just to give people a hint? What do you think is going to be one of the hit stories or surprise cool stories of this version of it?
Oh man, you gotta come. My stories, everything about all my life, everything that you know about me, you're gonna hear it. But you always knew about, but you're gonna hear the underlying story and why I did this and why I did that.
Do you think people leave this? Do you think people come to the show thinking Mike Tyson is this, and do you think they leave thinking, oh, Mike Tyson maybe is something different?
No, I'm not trying to by any way tell people who I am and explain who I am. I'm here to entertain people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you think that you had that in you when you were a kid? I mean, were you someone who liked to entertain?
Yeah, I wanted people to look at me, and I wanted to be noticed.
Yeah. And that took the form of boxing and what else?
Yes, entertaining people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you better at it than you thought you would be? Or
Yes, yes.
you are? Yeah. What was your expectation when you first started doing this show?
I don't know. I just did. At first, I didn't know. I didn't think it was going to turn out well, but it pretty much did.
Do you, I mean, it's obviously your life, but do you have anyone who sort of, gives you tips? Did you lean on somebody in the business or maybe someone from your family?
Everybody called me to give me tips. Everybody, all the guys from entertaining. Who's the guy that played Pippin? He called me. He said, I grew up on stage, Mike. He wanted to give me some. Paulie Shaw wanted to. He said, my family grew up on stage, and they all was worried about me. And they all wanted to give me some kind of advice and work with me. But I told them I have it under control. A lot of people thought I was going to make a mistake or something. They were worried because they know the difficult of it. It's very difficult.
Yeah. Because ultimately it's your life. You don't need input from somebody else to tell you how your life
Yeah,
went.
but it's just the fact that you have to learn how to feel the stage and work the stage and the crowd and stuff. I was inexperienced to that, and they were worried about that.
Now, of course, you've done this and you've done movies, had some movie parts. Do you see something like this expanding out? Do you have interest in doing more movie roles?
I'm just interested in entertaining people. I like to do that in any capacity of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, boxing is a sport that a lot of people gamble on. I was just interested to hear. Do you have any stories from your life where any crazy gambling stories where a guy said he just won a lot of money on you or lost or?
Yes, you're gonna hear it on stage too.
Oh, all right. Well, can you give me a little hint, little sample?
Oh, you got to watch the show. Now. I can't give you a hint. No,
I'm coming to the show. All right, so we can look forward to that. I was hoping that was going to be part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there going to be a 3? Or I mean, you're every day something interesting happens.
I'm just here doing 2 right now, and once we finish with 2, maybe it'll be another year and 21. Then we could think about 3.
Yeah.
But we're doing so much stuff in between. It's probably difficult that we have a 3.
What else do you have going on in life besides this?
Oh, I was explaining I have my Tyson Ranch, a reality show that I currently enthusiasm about my life after retirement from boxing and in the cannabis business and all that stuff. And we have a few movies we're working on. We have some movies that we're going to remake, and it's just a bunch of stuff that we're going to do in an array in a alluring fashion.
Interesting. What's one thing that you've always wanted to do, and you have not had a chance to do, maybe as a career?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. But then you ask me again.
Well, you got plenty of time, so it sounds like you can still work on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Mike, that's all I had. We ripped through a lot of questions. It was super interesting. I appreciate your time today.
It's a pleasure talking with you, my friend.
That was Mike Tyson. I'm Brant James, and this was Points Taken. Thanks for listening.